my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we have some more details for Obi-Wan Kenobi and more. So no more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. So yesterday we learned that Liam Neeson is back as Qui-Gon Jinn in the Kenobi series, and now we have another iconic character confirmed. Ian McDiarmid has teased that he might reprise his role as Palpatine in Kenobi as well. Now, if you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, then you'll remember when I broke this a few months ago. At the time, both Hayden Christensen and Ian McDiarmid were over here in the UK for Comic-Con, and the announcement put out on social media heavily implied that Ian McDiarmid is also going to be involved in the show. But today, we have even more evidence. Star Wars Leaks picked up on a new interview with Ian McDiarmid in Metro, and when the legendary actor was asked if we're going to see the Emperor again, this is what he said. "I think I have to accept that thanks to my ungrateful granddaughter," and here he's talking about Rey, "my annihilation in The Rise of Skywalker was final. But of course, Darth Vader is back in the Obi-Wan Kenobi television series, so I suppose it's not impossible that one day his mentor might be discovered once again, skulking in the shadows." And what's so great about Ian is that whenever he's asked about Palpatine, he responds in character as Sheev. Now, the last time we saw Palpatine on screen was in The Rise of Skywalker in 2019. And needless to say, many fans took issue with the treatment of his character, but him returning for the Kenobi series much earlier in the timeline makes so much sense. In the Kenobi series, we're 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith, and with the young risen Empire, if Palpatine is in it, he's going to be at his peak. And also consider the leaks of Vader's Rage, the Inquisitors, and a heavy Imperial subplot. Having Palpatine make an appearance or two, even in hologram form, is more than welcome. And I'm gonna say this right now, go and read the Vader comics if you've not done so already. Picking up right after Revenge of the Sith, you kind of see a different dynamic between Palpatine and Vader. The manipulation, the abuse, the pain that he puts Vader through might also be something they incorporate in this show. And when you think about it, with Qui-Gon's Force Ghost now confirmed, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Vader, Anakin flashbacks, and a younger Emperor, as a prequels fan there isn't much more I could ask for. All we need now are Vader dreams and flashbacks to Padme, and the circle is complete. But the lowdown of this piece of news is, Ian McDiarmid is hinting that he might return in Kenobi. But that is not the only piece of Kenobi news we have. There is also new info on the role of Luke Skywalker and Uncle Owen. This came out last night, courtesy of Making Star Wars Net, and it details the difficult life that Kenobi is going to live. Let's dive into it. They start off by saying, if you've been following my investigations for the last few weeks, you're probably starting to understand what the Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi series is about and what it will likely feel like. This is a series about a man who lost so much and now lives in the aftermath of that loss. All of his human connections have been destroyed. Even though Kenobi took the oath of a Jedi to let go of all attachments, the very human part of him is still suffering. What seemingly gets Kenobi through these hot Tatooine days and the hard work on the Dune Sea is his secret mission to guard the son of the Chosen One. Kenobi is continually having flashbacks to his time with Anakin Skywalker, the boy's father. His failure haunts him, but he knows his mission to protect Luke is their only chance at bringing balance to the Force. He is suffering, but he knows his suffering will liberate the galaxy if the Jedi plan works, if he can do his part. And then we get some info on Luke and Leia. Luke Skywalker is a tricky character to use in this series. His secret sister Leia is less tricky. While we see her on Alderaan with her fancy parents in a young senatorial program, she can know a lot about the galaxy. The only thing she cannot know is Obi-Wan Kenobi personally, and when she meets him, he is disguised, and this is very consistent with the current canon. I've seen a lot of people worry that if Leia meets Obi-Wan, then her message to him in A New Hope suddenly becomes weird because she talks as if she's only heard of him but never met him, but the fact that he's going to be in disguise and she won't know that it's Obi-Wan saving her actually works really well. So then they talk about Luke. In one sequence, Owen, Beru, and a young Luke Skywalker are away from their moisture farm. It's reported that the set was very much like Mos Eisley in spirit. They filmed Luke holding Beru's hand while they look at trinkets in the market. Owen may be selling a harvest of their water in this sequence, and their sources are not sure why he leaves his family. But Obi-Wan is watching them from afar, their secret protector on this journey. Luke is ultimately safe, even though danger has come to Tatooine, and Owen sees it firsthand. In the market, Luke is looking at some toys and is denied getting what he wants. He is not a spoiled kid. Luke and Beru continue with their day, and Luke is seemingly just happy to be off the farm for a time. And it's worth mentioning that they say these Luke sequences are said to be intercut with Leia, who has many interesting things in her room on Alderaan, including droids to assist her with whatever she has going on that day. So basically a stark contrast in upbringing. So sometime later in the show, Obi-Wan signals for Owen as they approach one another in the desert. Owen blames Obi-Wan for making things worse and not really helping. Obi-Wan has what some sources have said is a T-16 Skyhopper toy, and others have said a starship toy of some kind. Obi-Wan asks Owen if he can give it to the boy, and Owen says absolutely not. Uncle Owen feels that this boy's life is in danger because of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Obi-Wan is trying to bring him toys, which is the last thing Luke Skywalker needs at that moment. He needs safety, not toys. This scene will mirror the lightsaber Kenobi will one day try to give Luke and also be denied. Dejected, Obi-Wan Kenobi returns to the wilderness, more alone than ever. Because in this series, Obi-Wan wants to connect with Luke and he can't. And Owen, on the other hand, is not exactly wrong and he knows this. And so finally, sources say that Leia has a pretty big and obvious role in this series. Luke, on the other hand, is more in the periphery. It's not his time to start adventuring just yet. He cannot see lightsabers or real action. He has to live a secluded life that he doesn't understand until A New Hope. And by the sounds of things, guys, Deborah Chow did a great job at being pedantic with every little detail in order to be consistent with canon. In just 3 months and 2 days, the Kenobi series drops on Disney+. So exciting, I can't wait. And by the sounds of things, we're not going to be disappointed. And I should say, I don't really have expectations going into this show. I'm just taking it as it is. For me, the fact that Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen are back is more than perfect. Everything else is the cherry on top of the cake. So the biggest takeaway from this article, in my opinion, is Kenobi's continual flashbacks to his time with Anakin. That is the most invigorating part because we're going to see inevitably some live-action Clone Wars stuff. A lot of folks complained about the Book of Boba Fett flashbacks and that they were too lengthy, but I don't think anyone's going to complain about the flashbacks in the Kenobi series. Getting the chance to see Ewan and Hayden alongside each other again is the biggest gift that Lucasfilm could give fans, and I'm sure there's going to be tons of fan edits afterwards where they insert the flashback scenes into the prequels themselves. When you're talking about flashbacks to the Clone Wars, the sky is the limit. Bring on the Kenobi series. And so finally, my dear friends, just a quick merchandise update. The first official Obi-Wan Kenobi merch has dropped. Now you might say that we've already gotten several of this style of lightsaber with other characters, but this is certainly for the Kenobi series, as confirmed yesterday. If you look at Kenobi's collar, it's definitely from his time in exile. So just a quick update there. So with that said, my friends, that wraps things up for this Star Wars news update. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and a massive welcome if you are. The link to my Patreon, as always, is down there in the description. But until the next one, may the Force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg, have a good one.